Breaking: what Oprah said about white people in this video will make you sick. She's now ineligible to run, by Cat Stevens for freedomdaily.com. They were searching for years. It finally happened. They eventually found their one true gem after last year's failure. Now, after years of searching, liberals finally feel they've seen a woman who can win the presidency. Ironically, the notion to find a TV star candidate was stolen from the fact that President Trump had a bit of a TV career to go along with the rest of his business ventures. It's also not lost on anyone that there are no two names more synonymous with wealth in America than Donald Trump and Oprah Winfrey. It's quite funny that people on the left keep spouting off that you can't have a television billionaire run for president. But now that they have their television billionaire, they want to run for president. Funny how that works, right? The left has literally copied exactly what the right does because they're unable to craft their own winning strategy. Liberals have found President Trump's antithesis and plan to run against him in the next presidential election of 2020. Winfrey is also booted by the fact that she has a couple of social justice warrior bonus points working in her favor. She's black and she's a she. She has everything that they said Hillary had, but without that annoying and predatory bill tagging along for a free ride. The other thing that Oprah has in common with President Trump is that her career hasn't been in politics. She hasn't had to look over her shoulder and watch her mouth for her entire life. She's just been giving out prizes from under the seats of her show set and participating in other business ventures that have nothing to do with politics. In the case of President Trump, that didn't matter too much because he wasn't running on a platform of political correctness. That's where they differ. Oprah would most likely be on the plan with political correctness, something that Americans have gotten sick of hearing about. Oprah has given numerous honest and very liberal opinions over the years, and that is now coming back to haunt her. To make matters worse, the bumbling mainstream media is jumping up to defend her, and it's not going well. It's scary to think of Oprah Winfrey in the Oval Office as anything more than a guest taking a tour. Her unashamed opinion on race issues and disdain for white people could be a problem, you think? The longtime TV host has become incredibly anti-white over the years. Sure, she pocketed all the money. She could care less about the white people now. But it's going to come back to haunt her, I might add. Well, the longtime TV host has become increasingly anti-white over the years to the point that she's handing down a proverbial death sentence to those who don't agree with her. Yeah, who died and left her queen. Her idea that racism is a problem of the past, so to fix the problems, those who lived in that past, in that time, just need to die. That's right, folks. It was a horrible thing she said, and this video would be the bane of her existence if she ever ran for president. Oprah said as much in an interview in 2013. Can you imagine if Donald Trump came out and said all black people need to die? I mean, really? Oprah's solution to racism? Old white people just have to die. By Paul Joseph Watson. What a horribly divisive message. Frankly, aren't old people most of her audience? She would be out of a job if that happened, right? Does anyone find it ironic? Looks like America has been pretty good to them, right? Yep. Who paid for them? What a horribly divisive message, right? Wow, for a billionaire, there could have been a more eloquent way to say this. Money doesn't buy class, right? It's difficult to see someone who is considered to be a national leader asking for the death of hundreds of thousands, I would say millions of Americans. Millions, that's what she means. It's even more painful to think, but she also worships those Georgia Guidestones of, depopulation. It's even more painful to think people would want her to run the country with that attitude. Now, to be fair, she's probably right about a small fraction of the older generation. There will always be at least a few people who say racially inappropriate things, but they do not stand for or represent the majority of our good Americans. Even if there are a few old cronies with a racist bone in their body, that doesn't mean everyone is like that. That also doesn't mean Oprah should call for a mass genocide of old white people. That is terrible and racist, a racist thing to say. Makes Oprah look like the black female Hitler who calls for the killing of a particular kind of people. Is that who the American people would want to vote for? I don't think so. It is not ever okay to suggest that Americans try to kill people off just because they disagree with someone. What Oprah said is unforgivable and disgusting. We cannot believe she would say anything like that. That's why any white people buying her crap, don't buy her crap. The magazine, don't watch her channel. Boycott the witch. This probably seems exceptionally radical based on what she just said, that someone would try to kill an old person because they're racist. But it's perhaps not as far-fetched as you might think. Currently, California, Colorado, District of Columbia, Oregon, Vermont, and Washington have death with dignity laws that allow a terminally ill patient to voluntarily request and receive a prescription medication to hasten their death. This practice is also called euthanasia, which is a term that encompasses any physician-assisted suicide, and it dates back as far as ancient Greece and Rome. The United States is beginning to accept the reasoning that a person might need to die before their natural time, based strictly on the quality of life. Right now, as with most of the new technologies offered to us, it's optional. If we decide that our life isn't worth living, we can end it. However, throughout most of history, it hasn't been the patient choosing whether to pull their plug. In a socialist society, where it's all for one and one for all, someone always has to decide what will be for the greater good. In fact, euthanasia comes from the Greek word good, and thanatosis, death, and it means good death, gentle and easy death. This word is used for mercy killing. Withdrawal or withholding treatment was practiced in history. The correct term for this is orthothanasia, which means passive death. If you combine that with the incredibly scary and overreaching liberties taken in the Affordable Care Act, oh wow, aka Obamacare, then you can see how we were, and maybe still are, a hop, skip, and a jump from the government choosing who lives and dies. If racism is considered cancer that should be cut all out, then racism is redefined to mean anything liberals want. They would be able to hand down a death sentence to anyone the government wanted by withdrawing care. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that is what we were promised in the Constitution, but we've now come full circle to the point where we need to depend on another truth given to us by a founding father. We must indeed all hang together, or most assuredly we shall all hang separately. Ben Franklin. So it's in Obamacare? Unbelievable. Can you imagine what was waiting for us through Obama? And she was political. She was saying Obama was the best thing since sliced bread, you know? She was pushing Obama, she was pushing Hillary. Yeah, and the way she said they just have to die here.
Still, and there's a whole generation, I say this, I said this, for apartheid South Africa, I said this for my own, community in the South. There are still generations of people, older people, who were born and bred and marinated in it, in that prejudice and racism, and they just have to die.
Yeah, good old Oprah, who the white people gave their money to and watched her while she was getting her advertisements on television, right? Yep. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And again, thank you so much for watching.